welcome to the Huntsville State Park. So today I'm going to give you a walkthrough of my brand new Hobie PA14 360 XR. This is the new 2024 boat with the new and improved Hobie 360 drive in it. My kayak was rigged by Mariner Sales out of Dallas. They're one of the largest kayak retailers in the state of Texas. Everything on this boat came from Mariner, or you can get it at Mariner. And I'm excited to show you guys everything on the boat, and then we're gonna go do a little fishing. So let's go take a look. I'm gonna give you a tour. It's completely rigged how I would fish during a tournament. With one exception, I would probably have a few more rods with me if I were fishing a tournament, but I didn't put them all in the boat because that's just too much stuff. But she's completely rigged out, just like I was going to go fish a tournament today. We are just fun fishing, and I'm excited to show you guys the state park too. I fish here a lot, and it's one of my absolute favorite places to come fish. So let's get into the boat. Let's talk about the graphs first. So I am running 2 graphs. These are Garmin 93 SVs, and I have them on the Boondocks riser. And super cool, you know, when you're running 2 graphs, it's hard to mount it on the side, and I prefer to run them up towards the front in front of me. Now, some people, if you can see it, they've asked me, why do you put one of your screen protectors on upside down and one right ways? The reason why I do that is because my graphs are not networked together. And so the one on the left is upside down because that's what I use for my live scope. And the one on my right is just for everything else: mapping, GPS, navigation, marking waypoints, anything that's not live scope, because I have to mark waypoints on one and basically just use live scope for the other. So that's why they're done differently. Okay, let's talk about the seat. So this is the Hobie Vantage seat, which is fully adjustable. You can raise and lower the bottom, and then you can also adjust the back of the seat. It's got lumbar support, and then I have added a kayak cushion on the bottom and on the back of my seat. So when you're spending 8-12 hours a day in your kayak practicing for a tournament, this is just a comfort thing that I can no longer live without. I have to have one. I have multiple sets. I have one for every boat that I own. If you're gonna do just one, I prefer the one on the bottom. I do run 2 kayak cushions in the boat, and they're amazing. The other thing that I love about this Vantage seat is it's more like a chair than it is a regular kayak seat. You know, these are sit on top kayaks, not sit in kayaks. And the seat to me is just superior. The other great thing is it's tall enough that you can put a big Plano box. This is a 2XL size Plano box underneath my seat. And you know, you've got plenty of space around you. You've got this center storage right here. So it's mostly waterproof. And then you've got the basket that comes out, and this is where the battery is for my graphs and my live scope and all of my lights. It's a 12 volt, 50 amp hour FPV battery. Sorry, I slid it out of there and now I can't get it back. And it powers all of the lights on my boat, my graphs, my live scope, powers everything but my motor, and which runs on a separate battery in the back. And then of course you can see that my entire kayak is decked out in this custom marine mat decking. Now the Hobie PA14 does come standard with some decking already in it. However, like what's on the front hatch around the edges, what's on my pedals, kind of what's underneath here and in the back, it does not come with any of that. I think it only comes with this right here. Sound is a factor, being stealthy is a factor. I highly suggest that you put some kind of marine mat or matting in the bottom of your boat to dampen sound. You'll get more bites, you'll catch more fish. It does not have to be a custom marine mat. They make marine mat kits that you can buy for the Hobie that just come straight off the shelf. They're, I don't know, maybe $300 or $400, and they're worth every penny. And plus just comfort, right? Like it doesn't get as hot, and I don't like to wear shoes when I fish, if you've watched any of my videos. So it makes it really nice on my bare feet. And I wouldn't ever have a boat that doesn't have it ever again. All right, let's talk about the back end of the kayak. I've got my 24 volt, 50 amp hour Newport battery. This is what powers my motor. And I've got my catch board, my battle box, which is what I put all of my terminal tackle in, and my crate, which if you watched my other video for my other boat, this is a homemade crate that I made. Rod holders from Amazon, a yak gear crate, this Plano insert, and I can carry 6 rods in the crate. I love it. I have just kind of beat this thing to death. It's one of my favorite crates. I do have a black pack at home that I haven't put together yet, but I'll get there. And because the one thing I don't like about this is I have to take it out every time, and that black pack, I can strap it down and not have to take it out. That's one reason why I want to go to the black pack. But anyway, crate goes back here. I've got my Hobie paddles. I know a lot of people have like these expensive paddles, bending branches and Werner and that kind of stuff, and I have nothing against any of that, but we rarely have to paddle these big boats. So I don't see the logic in spending a lot of money on an expensive paddle because I'm only going to use half of this paddle anyway. So anyway, I digress. Back here, we've got the mount. This is a metal mount that can hold 2 power poles plus the motor, and I may not ever put power poles on this boat. I'm really not sure if I'm gonna do that yet or not. This is the new NK180 Pro by Newport Vessels. It runs on a 24 volt, at least 50 amp hour battery is what I would start with. It is the upgraded, updated, new and improved version of the original NK180. So you can see on the bar up here, it's got NK180 Pro, and then of course back here, the actual propeller is a different color and a little bit bigger than the original. What is the difference between the original NK180 and the new NK180 Pro? So this motor, one, bigger propeller, it's gonna be a little bit more efficient, about 20% more efficient than the original model. So you're gonna go a little farther. And not only that, it's the throttle control on the new NK180 Pro is a little bit better in the very top end and then on the very bottom end. So whenever you push your throttle up and you feel that click to get to the very top, you're gonna feel like that extra burst of speed. So it's a little bit faster than the original. Now, if you run it all over the lake at top speed, right, like your battery's not gonna last as long. But in that 80 to, I would say like 90% range is kind of the sweet spot on the throttle. And then on the very, very low end of it, you can really dial in your speed. So if you're like me and you're running foot control steering on your boat with your motor, it'll allow you to troll with your boat, just cruise at a real low speed. Oh my gosh, those people have their dogs in backpacks on their back. The Huntsville State Park never disappoints, ever, on their e-bikes. Oh goodness. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled programming. It's gonna allow you, especially with that foot control steering, to put it on like 3%, 4% and just cruise the bank line really slow, nice and steady, and fish just like you would do, say, if you were running like a trolling motor. If you have any questions about the new NK180 Pro, feel free to let me know, send me a message, drop a comment, and I'll try to answer all your questions. Let's see, what else? Let's take a look at the foot control steering. So let's talk about something that is new on this boat that I didn't have on my other boat, and that is the foot control steering. So you can see on the left and on the right, I've got these pedals that are ran through these cables that go inside my boat and out the back to my motor. And so that is what lets me steer my motor with my feet. And it's really awesome, especially with the NK180 Pro, if you want to cruise really slow down the bank line and you can control your steering and you can keep fishing at the same time. I think it's a game changer as far as tournament stuff goes. I really like it. Now the graphs, I said this earlier, one Y is one upside down and one not. Well, it's just the cover. It's not the actual graph that's upside down. And that is so that I know which graph is dedicated for my live scope and which graph is dedicated for waypoints, navigation, everything else, because they're not networked, so they don't talk to each other. It's easier for me to say waypoints on one and then just use my live scope for the other, and that's how I'll tell the difference between the two. Other really cool things about the Pro Angler, if you're not familiar with it, is there is horizontal rod storage on the left and the right. It's made for 6 rods. I know from experience you can put 2 rods per slot, so you could really carry 12 if you wanted to. That's a lot. I've done it before. Don't know if I would recommend everybody to do that, but I have definitely done it. And the other thing that, and I'll try to do another video on this because I just can't put it on my boat right now on the trailer, is my live scope pole. This is the Railblaza hex mount. It goes on this bracket over here and it snaps in, and then what it does, it has this toggle right here, like this little piece where you can pop it and then rotate your live scope up next to your boat. It's just not something that you drive with it on your boat. And I'll try to do a separate video on that, but that's the live scope mount I'm using this year. That's pretty much it. That's the boat. Hope you guys liked seeing the tournament rigged out boat. And if you have any questions, throw them in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And I really appreciate it. It does help me out a lot. And, you know, let me know what questions you have.
Oh, I got it still. That's wild. All right. I'm gonna lose you. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That's not bad at all. Came right out of the grass. That was a pretty cool eat. Only took me all day to get one bite. Let's see if I can get it unhooked. All right. There we go. Little Huntsville State Park bass. Not a bad one at all. Get out here, bud. For a second there, I thought I lost it.